The bankrupt boys were put to the sword at Stamford Bridge. A 3-0 demolition from Estêvão announcing himself to Cucurella absolutely locking down Yamal, and a total midfield domination. As far as the 5 things we learned from Chelsea masterclass against Barcelona. But before we dive into this gargantuan review, if you are new here, welcome to the channel. But if you have been following me for a while, you know the drills. Help your boy get to that 10k subscriber mark. Let's dive into it. The world champion had fun with the bankrupt boys. This wasn't a football match. This was a televised assault. Goals, clean sheets, total domination. I'm buzzing. What more can I ask for? So sit up, let's dive into what we learned from this 3-0 demolition job. Starting with the star of the night, Estêvão unlocked himself. Let's get one thing straight. This wasn't Estêvão versus Yamal. This was Estêvão announcing himself to Europe at Stamford Bridge under the biggest lights. And we saw the exact kind of finish he hit us in the Club World Cup. Except this time, he was doing it for us. That's when you know this kid was built different. He finished the night with a 7.9 rating, 1 goal, 1 big chance created, 3 key passes, 2 shots, 1 on target, 48 touches, 2 successful dribbles. The stats looks nice, but the football was nastier. He drifted past 2 backer defenders like they weren't paid professional. Head off pressure, unleashed a raising shot from a tight angle that nearly tore off the net. That was cold. No hesitation, no panic, just pure instinct. That's a killer in the making. And when legends start talking, you listen. Thierry Henry on Estêvão. Let him cook, let him play. We need to enjoy this type of players in this type of games. It doesn't have to be scripted all the time. Then he doubled down. He's painting everything. You wouldn't like to play against him because he's coming at you all the time. He reminds me of Giggs, testing you the whole game. When Henry, a man who tortured defenders for fun, is comparing our 18-year-old superstar to Ryan Giggs, then we need to understand how ridiculous this talent is. We are not holding a promising winger, we are holding a loaded weapon. This performance pushes him out of prospect category entirely. He's now the top teenager in history to score in his first 3 Champions League starts, right next to Haaland and Mbappe. You don't get on that list by accident. You get there by having something others don't. The audacity to perform on the biggest stage without blinking. And let's be real, how did they even let us sign this boy? How do you watch this level of hunger, flair, decision making and think, yeah, Chelsea can have him? This is still Estêvão adapting to Europe. This is him learning the weather, the tempo, the league, the noise, and he's already our leading Champions League goal scorer. We have been crying for a winger who can break game open on his own. Someone who forces defenders backwards. Someone who makes you lean forward in your seats. And now we have got one. And if this is what he looks at 18, imagine the monster we are cooking by 20. Estêvão isn't hype. He's not a TikTok talent. He's real, functioning, a match-winning weapon. And Barcelona felt the full force. Which brings me to the second thing we learned. Cucurella, the silent assassin. If Estêvão unlocked the night, then Cucurella shut the door on Yamal. And I mean, shut it hard. Honestly, Cucurella doesn't get anywhere near the respect he deserves. We have seen countless wingers have bad game against him. Yamal was no different. He came onto the pitch with all the hype in the world, ready to dazzle. But Cucurella made sure he didn't get a sniff of space, not once. He finished with an 8.2 rating, 4 tackles, 1 interception, 4 clearance, 1 shot block, 4 recoveries, 7 ground duel won, 1 area duel won. Numbers don't lie, but numbers alone don't tell the story. Cucurella controlled the chaos. Every time Yamal tried to accelerate or dribble, Cucurella was there. Patient, precise, and relentless. His positioning was flawless, cutting off passing lanes, staying goal side, and making Barcelona right flank completely toothless. Let's not forget his contribution to our opening goal. That low cross from the left. Pure Cucurella precision. It ultimately forced Koundé into his own goal, setting the tone for the entire match. That's impact beyond defending. He's shaping the game offensively while shutting down threat defensively. Once Barca went down to 10 men, Cucurella didn't just coast. He kept that flank locked, allowing us press higher, dominate possession, and attack with complete freedom. Every Chelsea attack felt safer, every transition smoother, because we knew our left back was handling business. This is what makes him so underrated. Fancy, flashy dribble and scream for defender to do something. But Cucurella does everything right, without making it look hard. He's the kind of player who doesn't get highlight reels, but he builds foundation. Without him, Chelsea dominance wouldn't have been possible. This blowout might have looked very different. Bottom line, Cucurella is a cornerstone. Attackers like Yamal might get the headlines, but defenders like Cucurella write the story. Which brings me to the third thing we learned. In Maresca we trust. Enzo Maresca masterminded the whole operation. This was tactical brilliance in full view. Some fans were skeptical before the match. Why bench a traditional striker? They asked. But by the final whistle, the answer is clear. In Maresca we trust. Chelsea lined up like this: Sanchez, Gusto, Fofana, Chalobah, Cucurella, Caicedo, Estêvão, Fernandes, Garnacho, and Neto. Notice one thing: no traditional striker. Neto was deployed as a false nine, drifting, pressing, running in behind, and causing real and consistent problem for Barcelona's highlight. And the stats barely scratched the surface. 6.3 rating, 3 shots, 2 big chance miss, 32 touches. Numbers don't capture the subtlety here. Neto's movement stretched back our open spaces and allowed our wingers and midfielders to exploit the gap. This wasn't luck, it was a calculated tactical plan executed perfectly. And the rest of the team: dominance, pure and simple. 56% ball possession, 15 shots, 6 on target, 3 big chances created. And on expected goals, the superiority was insane. Chelsea 2.51 to Barcelona 0.88. We didn't just scrape a win, we blew them out of the water. And it was systematic. We pressed, rotated, and exploited spaces, especially once Barcelona went down to 10 men. Even with several goal ruled out, Fernandes twice and Dos Santos once, Chelsea kept composure, pushed forward, and that's mental strength and tactical clarity. Maresca's approach reminded me of old school big managers: bold, flexible, and not afraid to adapt. He didn't just set up a team to play, he set up a team to win, dominate, and make statements. Let's put this into perspective. Hansi Flick failed to see his team score in a UEFA Champions League game for the first time in his managerial career. That's how big statement this was. Enzo Maresca stayed calm in the post-match. It was a good game. To be honest, it was no more than that. We knew how important this game was. They were all important games. When we beat Barcelona, it's always nice. So we are happy today. Barcelona defeat tonight, only their third loss to an English side in the Premier League since 2013-2014 season. 3-1 versus Manchester City, 4-0 versus Liverpool, and 3-0 versus Chelsea in 2025. Maresca didn't just win a game, he shaped a narrative. This was strategic, calculated, and utterly ruthless. That's how you dominate a team known for dominating games. Which brings me to the fourth thing we learned: midfield authority. The midfield laid the foundation for the demolition. Beyond the headline grabbers, this is where games are won or lost. Chelsea controlled it like clockwork. Ball retention, passing accuracy, tempo control, we dominated it all. Chelsea finished the match with 89% pass accuracy versus Barcelona 84%. And every move was orchestrated with precision. Let's start with the man who dictated the rhythm: Enzo Fernandes. My days, he was sensational. He dropped a 7.1 rating with 1 assist, 1 big chance created, 2 key passes, 87% accurate passes, 4 shots, 1 on target. Enzo Fernandes wasn't just passing the ball, he was controlling the game, deciding when to accelerate, when to slow it down, and when to exploit spaces. He ran the engine room like a general commanding his troops. But he didn't do it alone. Let's dive deeper into the double pivot of Caicedo and Reece James, the true backbone of this midfield. Caicedo, my general, put in a 7.1 rating, 2 key passes, 1 interception, 2 clearance, 10 recoveries, 3 ground duel won. All that without breaking sweat. Dropping a midfield masterclass is starting to become a norm for him. Over £100 million. Forget about it. We got a steal. He dictated the defensive side while still contributing to attack. A rare balance few can manage. Then there is my captain, my leader, all weather like Mayweather James. He had a whopping 7.5 rating with 1 assist, 2 key passes, 2 accurate crosses, 90% accurate pass, 2 shots, 1 on target, 1 tackle, 1 interception, 6 recoveries, 4 ground duel won, and 0 time dribbled passed. When you talk about versatility, James does it all. Defensive solidarity, creative vision, ball retention, and the ability to dominate every facet of the game. Winning the midfield battle allowed us to press reliably, recover quickly, and prevent Barcelona from ever finding rhythm or composure. When Araujo was sent off, that game didn't just remain, It tightened the screws, leaving Barca frustrated and exposed. This kind of authority isn't built overnight. It shows maturity, mental, physical, and tactical. We are no longer a patchwork underdog. We dictate games now. This midfield is the engine driving this domination. Which brings me to the last and most important thing: consistency. This performance wasn't a flash in the pan. Chelsea dominated in all phases of the game: defense, midfield, attack, shots, possession, pressing, setup, everything clicked, and it clicked together. Even when Barca were one man down, even with substitution, disallowed goals and early jitters, the level never dropped. That's what separates a team that's merely talented from a team that is truly elite. Brazilians like this, night in, night out, is far more important over a season than a single moment of brilliance. And let's be real, this isn't just a statement in Europe. Arsenal awaits next in the Premier League, and this isn't a warm-up. This result set the tone for everything. If we carry this level of dominance, focus and intensity into domestic play, we are not just participants, we are contenders. And anyone who doubts Chelsea's strengths this season is about to get reminded the hard way. Consistency, discipline, authority, that's how you go from beating Barcelona 3-0 to winning the league and competing for trophies. And with that said, that's the end of the video. Make sure you like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. It go be.